They say to be the best, you gotta beat the best. Rack up the miles in the biggest open world Need for Speed has ever seen. See you soon, drivers, in Fortune Valley.
The Lord has given us more content, more stuff to talk about, more stuff to feast our eyes on. So today we're going to be going over two things. We're going to be going over the world and the 4 parts of the world of Need for Speed Payback and Fortune Valley. And we're going to talk about those 4 different sections, the things that we can most likely expect from them, and the things that I'm really excited about those specific places. And then we're going to move on to things we've seen in the trailer and certain things in the trailer, including this thing, finally an RX-7. I've finally seen an RX-7. So we're not going to waste anybody's time here. We're going to go into the first place I want to talk about, which is Silver Rock. Now, Silver Rock seems to be the more city place, or the most city-ish place that we're going to see from the map or the world. Big skyscrapers, long straights, intersections, highways, things like that. Just glamorous, glitzy skyscrapers, casinos. That links in with the house theme. Things like that. This is going to be great though, because we're going to be able to have city areas to drift around, drift in, weave in and out of traffic and stuff like that. Something that I kind of really wanted from Need for Speed 2015, but the city wasn't really that intricate. It wasn't really that big. There wasn't really much there. So it's kind of good that we've got it in Need for Speed Payback finally. And if we go back to older trailers and older gameplay, we can see that city in day and night. If you want to nitpick and go and see through some screenshots, some videos, you can see this part of the city or this part of the map in its beauty. It looks insane. I cannot wait to kind of get into it. There's a lot of different places, and I'm very, very, very excited to get into them. And the next one, the next place area, is one I am very, very excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to sit back, relax, turn on some Eurobeat, because we've got canyons. So canyons have returned to Need for Speed Payback. Love me some canyons. I love long sweeping roads, and the fact that we've got nighttime and daytime in it now is going to make it a different experience each time you go on them. And I hope, very much pray and hope, that when it is nighttime, when we're in the big, you know, high hills and, you know, there's a lot of trees and stuff, not much, you know, activity going on in terms of AI. I very much hope there are no street lights. I hope it's pitch black. A place where we're really challenged on the map would be fun. Like, just no lights at all. Just sort of like reminiscent of Carbon when you used to do the battles, the Toge battles. Something like that would be amazing to see. We don't know fully yet. We have not seen the map. We don't know completely, but I very much hope there are no lights. There was a screenshot posted, but I didn't see any lights in the backgrounds of that picture when that was posted a few weeks ago. So I very much hope that it lives up to my expectations and there are no lights, and we've got some intense canyon battles ahead of us. Now, Liberty Desert is the next place I want to talk about, which will be kind of a familiar place to us because it's where our first garage is. So we will have to go back there a few times before we can move on to the next garage or whatever, to the next area, to the next place. So this place will be a very familiar sight. It's one of the most interesting places for me because we haven't seen off-roading or, you know, kind of bumpy places on Need for Speed for a while now. 2015 had more or less no jumps and stuff. They had a few little jumps, but it wasn't catered to that kind of gameplay. Whereas this is, we will be jumping and swooping and stuff and going over dirt and fields and deserts. So it will be very interesting to see how that plays out and to see how gameplay is with that. Like in my last video where I specifically spoke about off-road races and stuff, it looks promising. Like, it was one thing I was kind of shaky about, to see how they, you know, dealt with physics and stuff, but from seeing the footage, from seeing how it plays out, seeing how it looks very solid for an off-roading arcade game. It looks like you will be able to handle your cars pretty well. It looks fun, to say the least. Now, last but not least is this place, and it's called Mount Providence. Now, again, we've got more mountain roads, we've got more canyon-like places to drive, drift and slide around, or if you want to do a hill climb race, you can do that. It looks absolutely nuts. Also, there's a lot of greenery going on. There's a lot of foresty places. I'm wondering if you can go off into the forest and drive in between the trees and stuff. There is a lot to take in from this one screenshot. There's also a big ass, what it looks to be like a car park. There's a lot of places to go. There's just a lot of places to drive around and go and explore. A lot of content to take in, a lot of map to take in. So we haven't actually got the map. We can't actually tell where these places are, where they're located. We don't know what the places in between look like. There is still a lot to get into, but just from looking at these screenshots and this information we've got from this article, it is looking absolutely insane. 10 times better than 2015 by a long shot. It seems like there's a lot more texture and layers to this map, and I'm very excited to get my hands on it. It looks absolutely crazy. So there's a lot going on in the trailer. There's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things we could go over, but I feel like I'll be rehashing quite a lot of the stuff that we've already seen in previous trailers and screenshots and articles and whatnot. We're gonna kind of keep it strict to what's new and what we don't know. Now, we all know that the house are the big bad guys that we will be going against. I assume they'll be like the M boss or whatever, but there seems to be kind of, I don't know if you would call them mini bosses or mini rivals or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what you would call them, but there are some other guys that we've got to face. The first people we are introduced to are called Riot Club. Now, these guys kind of handle drag racing. I'm guessing you will go through them when you go to drag races, or we can get to drag races. It's very interesting. It kind of reminds me of the older Need for Speed titles, actually, with the whole like bosses of each type of thing, sort of like a Pro Street type thing. Carbon, maybe. It's very reminiscent of older Need for Speed games. The next people we'll be going against, or the next people that we're introduced to in the trailer, is League 73, and those people handle off-road races and off-road events, I guess. So it is interesting to see this kind of come into Need for Speed Payback. I'm not entirely sure how they work yet, but it will be very interesting to see that develop and see if more people get put in you know, in future content. It's very interesting addition to the trailer. And then the last couple of things I want to talk about are the dealerships and the tuning shops. Now, I've spoke about them before. You're probably aware that we have to kind of now go to different places to do different things. It's not just all in one garage anymore. I've got to say that this is an amazing addition to the game. It's very reminiscent of older Need for Speed titles, and as much as I hate kind of being nostalgic and everything, it is very, very, very good to know that that's coming back. It just adds to gameplay, being able to go to different places. It adds layers to the game. It makes you feel like those things are more valuable, or they have more worth, because you have to go to a certain place to get them. It's not just all in one place. It just adds a bit more. It's just a nice touch. Just nice touch. If you want to see more Payback stuff in the future, then make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next installment. Thank you for watching.